We join with other UUs in the tradition of striking the gong 3 times. Once in memory of those congregants who have gone before, once in honor of those who are here today, and once for the future. Good morning on this Sunday, January 14th, 2024. I am Lily Weiser, your service leader assistant for today. Welcome to the Umpqua Unitarian Universalist congregation. This is a place where you can be yourself, but not by yourself. Whoever you love, however you describe yourself, or name the holy, you are welcome here. We especially welcome those who are visiting for the first time and those recently returning to us. We are so glad you are here with us today. Please stay for after service for coffee and tea and conversation so we can get to know each other better. UUUC also acknowledges the Umpqua people who came before us to this land. Their name graces our congregation and the river that flows through this land. Here for thousands of years, loving this land and living in harmony, they still give us gifts of action and wisdom. We make this land acknowledgement in recognition of the Umpqua and as atonement for harms done, part of the path towards healing. Announcements are in your order of service along with upcoming events. Much appreciation goes out to our staff, greeters, and media tech, Jake Tranter.
Good morning. I'm Lillian Fifield, and I get the pleasure of doing a couple of things. The first is telling you that I'm so happy to have Lily Weiser with us. Lily is a service leader trainee doing a great job, and this is her first time, not to make her nervous because we know we don't do that, but starting off and really leading the whole service. So we know that she has your support. My second great pleasure is, of course, to welcome back Bonnie and Andy Anderson. I'll tell you a little bit more about them later, but Andy, of course, is on our piano. You heard a little prelude before. And the choices that he will make and what he plays for you today and sings for you today are his choices and will always be a delight and surprise for us. So, hi, Andy. And you'll hear more about both Bonnie and Andy a little later. It is at this time in the service, however, that we get to collect your money and food that you may have brought for the Fish Food Pantry. Fish is a food pantry that we have supported as a church congregation with other Roseburg churches for many years. And know that anything you contribute in food or money will be put to very good use by the pantry and those who need. Thank you so much for your contributions. As I said, they will be put to good use. We welcome now our live streaming audience back there. Sometimes we forget when we're sitting with our backs to them that there are lots of folks out there, and we hope that they enjoy our service today. The next part of what we do is light the chalice, and Lily has a piece for you about that.
As we light this chalice, we may be conscious of our own light and the light of others. And as we consciously acknowledge the light of others, we become freer to dance with our own light to our own song, and our presence lights the way for others to join in.
Thank you, Lily. Our opening words today are actually a video. Today is Martin Luther King, or tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day. It's a federal holiday, and it's his birthday. And we wanted to honor that Nobel Prize winner, civil rights leader, and major lasting life change agent for impacting our lives, our culture, and our heart. His words are our opening words today. Have you got that, Jake? Thank you, Martin Luther King, and now Andy Anderson.
I'm living in the perfect moment. Don't worry about yesterday. One step in front of the other, smiling, it's a brand new day. I let the good times keep on rolling. It's the only way. I give thanks for everything around me. Let love just have its way. Sun keeps shining each and every day. I know where there's a will, there's a way. I won't let anything get in the way of me living in a bigger way. Oh, what a great day to be alive. I'm moving in a new direction. Don't think what could have been. There's nothing that can hold me back now. Everything's okay. May mercy bring compassion, love and happiness, and overflow my life with kindness. Ha! Hallelujah, namaste. I am all that I am to be. You and me, as only love you see. What a great day to be alive. Oh, what a great day to be alive. Oh, la 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 la. La 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 la. Find in life what speaks to you. And don't ever let go, no matter what you do. Yeah, I see with both eyes open. It's a brand new day. Every moment keeps on pushing me to be more than I can be. And I'm always grateful, thankful with every breath I breathe. My life is so marvelous, beautiful. Everything's right here for me. I am all that I am to be. You and me, there's only love, you see. What a great day to be alive. What a great day to be alive. Yeah. Oh, la 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 la, la 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 la. Yeah. What a great day to be alive. Oh, what a great day to be alive.
Now is the time that we take to sing the children downstairs. Do we have any children?
We have children, but we'll only go downstairs if we have one other adult besides myself to volunteer. So part of the Safe Child process, we have 2 adults downstairs. So I am one of them.
Do we have any other volunteer?
She can only
Okay.
stay up here if she's doing fine like she is now.
Okay.
How about you? You want to stay up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
All
So
right.
we don't need, thank you, Maria.
And now we take the time to share our joys and concerns with candle lighting and a spoken or a silent moment.
For those of you here with us for the first time, if you'd like to share. I heard some voices out there that I should really like to hear up here. So if you're revisiting or you're new and you'd like to sing, as you could see, our choir could use some help. So talk to talk to Glennis or Lily if you have any interest in that. So right now, we are going to be passing some baskets for the offertory for our church. And this is the time when we really are passing baskets, and I want you to know how much we appreciate whatever support that you can give this Umpqua Unitarian Universalist Church. Your money will be put to good use. It serves all of our programs and pays our bills. Baskets will be coming around. Thank you so much for your support. It is the fuel that keeps this community burning brightly, and we appreciate the love that comes behind it. Will you join me, please, now? There's going to be a video entitled From You I Receive.
We're gonna have to do it live.
Okay. All right. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
I'm adjusting because I know Bonnie's a little bit smaller than I am. At this point, in the service, we're going to just sort of go with the service, and at this point, Lily and I are going to kind of take some seats because we have a little exciting piece for you. First of all, Andy's going to play. But before he does, I have a little speaker introduction because I don't want to be interrupted in the rest of this. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Andy that I didn't share earlier, and about Bonnie. And then after Andy finishes playing, Bonnie will come up and she will share with us a meditation that she has, what she would like to talk with you about today. And then following that, there'll be opportunity for those of you to kind of have a question and response period with Bonnie. So that's what's happening. And let me tell you first about Andy. You've been listening to him. He is indeed a singer and a songwriter and a poet. And he always seems to come up with just what we need to hear when we need to hear it. I never know what he's going to sing when he's here. Never know what he's going to play, but I never feel let down. He composes and performs what he considers visionary, spiritual music that he hopes inspires and uplifts, and he calls his music spiritual food for the soul. Now, Bonnie's real interesting. Bonnie Anderson is, of course, a minister, as is Andy, and she's real energetic. Her speaking style, she'll wake you up. Her mission is to bring to the world more peace and love anytime she has an opportunity. She likes opening up minds. She likes bringing thought. You might have even heard in some form before, but thought, rethought, and presented in a different way or a new way. She also likes finding new things, holding various kinds of groups, and studying herself in things that mattered her. So she's going to come up here and she's going to drop some ideas right into your heart. Andy?
Every day I'm so grateful, thankful. Oh, it's a new day on my horizon. All that I am, all I can be. Oh, it's just a gratitude shining through me. Nature's gifts to me. Perfect place to be. I keep loving myself so I can see there's only beauty in you, beauty in me. Oh, let's all stand up together and let the whole world see. So grateful, I'm so thankful, I'm so grateful, I'm so thankful. My life is so good, precious and good. See, with every breath I take, with every step I take, it takes me higher on my path of awakening. See through the eyes of love, there's only one of us. So let's be grateful for all that's been given us. No need to live in fear. All of life is this. Oh, come on, let's love and let the love come shining in. Smiling faces, warm embraces. Oh, let's all stand up and let the whole world know I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. Every day I'm grateful. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. My life is so good, precious and good. Yeah. Oh, so grateful. I'm so thankful. so thankful, so grateful. Every day, yes, I am.
Good morning, everyone. It's so wonderful to be here and to see all these beautiful faces of friends and people we haven't met yet. It's just such a privilege to be here. And it's a privilege to be here on the podium with Reverend Andy because, you know, it's pretty cool to have him lift everybody up with his music and I just walk out here. So it's nice. And next month we celebrate our 45th wedding anniversary. So that's a long time. We looked a lot different back then, huh? So let's start out with a short meditation. If you just close your eyes and take a deep breath. And breathe deeply and slowly for a moment. Just breathe deep and slow. So let's take that idea of being grateful and put your energy into your heart space in the middle of your chest. You can put your hand there if you like and feel gratitude. For all of the blessings in your life. As you breathe deeply and slowly, remember all of the things that you are grateful for, including being here at this moment with everyone that is here. And as you feel this great gratitude, you feel your heart swelling. And it feels so good. So let's just take a moment and with the music playing in the background, just spend a few short moments in this place of deep gratitude. Take another deep breath and come back into the room and open your eyes when you're ready. So here we all are together this morning on Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. The title of my talk is Equanimity, to stand in the middle of all this that's going on. But first I want to tell you a little bit about something you may already know about a book called the Bhagavad Gita. It's an ancient Hindu text, and it's a text that's seen as a source of wisdom for the Hindus, a very wise book with a lot of lessons in it. And in this book, there are 4 pillars. They're called the boundless abodes. 4 pillars. And if you practice these pillars, it is a way, they say that it's a way of life with greater ease and grace. So the first pillar is metta, which is loving kindness. And you've probably done loving kindness meditations before where you know love and good feelings and all is well for first of all for yourself, and then you spread it to the ones you love, and then your acquaintances, and then it gets to the point where you keep spreading it until you get to the people that are hard to love. You may say they're your enemies, your nemesis, people that you struggle with. You send them love and good feelings. So it spreads that unconditional love everywhere. There's a meditation teacher called David G. that I really love, and he says when he goes to, he's kind of wild with all this crazy hair and beard, and he's very funny. And he says when he goes to the airport, he has his earphones on, and he walks around the airport sending loving kindness to everyone, all the people in the security line and here and there. And he just sends them all love because there's so many people there. And he said when he sits down on the airplane, he's like at a high vibration. He's already rising up. So the second pillar is karuna, or compassion, feeling compassion for ourselves and for others. And the third one is mudita, which is empathetic joy. And what that means is, if there's someone that experiences something beautiful and joyful, you feel joy for them instead of feeling jealous or resentful or envious. So, if someone got a job that you applied for that you didn't get, so instead of feeling resentful or angry at them, you send them joy. You feel empathetic joy. And the final pillar is upekkha, or equanimity, which is what we're going to talk about today. Equanimity is being grounded enough to be balanced in the midst of chaos or misunderstanding, to keep our balance in the midst of all the things that are going on in the world right now. And it has to come from a place of seeing the whole picture, the big picture, to see from a higher place, looking at all viewpoints, not just our own viewpoint, but standing in another person's shoes and seeing how they must feel. Treating people and situations impartially. And that can be challenging when there's a lot going on in the world that we don't agree with, to be impartial. It's even-mindedness, and unshakable in our foundation of standing in the midst. The only way you can do this is by walking through this world fully present. And when we do this, we raise our vibration up to a place of a silent witness. We can stand in the middle as a silent witness without getting pulled into despair. And it doesn't mean when we say this, we're standing in the middle, that we're indifferent or we're apathetic or, well, just let whatever happens, happens. I don't have any control. It's not that at all, because we care very deeply, don't we? We care about the state of the country and the state of our planet deeply. We accept the reality of what's going on in the moment, but we still have hope for the future. We accept this is what's going on now, but we have hope for the future. It's like Donna Smith often says that, sometimes all of the ugliness that's hidden comes up to the surface to be healed. And tomorrow is Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. And we celebrate his many contributions, all of the many ways he's contributed to our society in the way he is now. And he is a wonderful example of living in equanimity. A wonderful example. It's so funny because when I wrote a talk, I started working on a talk on equanimity, and I talked to Laline, and she said, well, you know, it's Martin Luther King's birthday. And I went, oh, of course, it's Martin. So I have to put these two together now. And it's so perfect because Martin Luther King is such a perfect example of equanimity. And the way he kept himself centered was that he followed the teachings of his spiritual teachers, of Jesus and Gandhi, and he practiced meditation, and he kept himself centered. And he was subject to so much hatred, so many racial slurs, so much meanness and violence. But he never resorted to throwing those things back out there. He said this, man must evolve for all human conflict a method which rejects revenge, aggression, and retaliation. The foundation for such a method is love. And this is a person that had so much hatred directed at him, but he stayed in love. You know, the teacher, Ernest Holmes, said that he believes that we are always evolving into a higher consciousness, that our consciousness is always going up, never down, even though it may seem like it. It's always evolving and spiraling to a higher place. That gives me hope. But Martin Luther King Jr. never gave up hope. He never let anger or fear take over. It doesn't mean he didn't have dark nights of the soul. I know that he did. I've read about it. I'm sure he did have times when it became very difficult to go on. But he meditated and he prayed and he leaned on his supporters, and he had many people come to him and support him. He said, never succumb to the temptation of bitterness. And here is a man who had, as I said, so much hatred. He was a beacon for hatred of people. He just attracted people who were really against his ideas of nonviolence. And he said, love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. Now that's a pretty big thing. An enemy becomes your friend. And it's possible, isn't it? It's possible. It may have even happened to some of you. He also said, let no man pull you so low as to hate him. Let no man or woman pull you so low that you hate them. Because then you've changed your own energy, your own consciousness from love to hate. He practiced equanimity. He raised his vibration and persevered. He saw from the mountaintop, didn't he? That wonderful speech he gave. He saw from a higher plane. He raised himself up and looked at the situation from a higher place, seeing hope. So how can we practice equanimity in these trying times? How can we keep ourselves centered and calm? And how can we stay in compassion? It can be challenging to stay in compassion. Well, we can use Martin Luther King Jr. as an example in our own lives. We can practice equanimity in all areas of our lives. In our relationships, in our close relationships, in our relationships with our neighbors. We can practice it with people that don't agree with us, because we find a lot of that, don't we? We can practice it even in the midst of our challenges and conflicts and hatred in today's world. There's lots of opportunity for us to practice equanimity. Is it easy? No. But why do we even want to try? Because we want to bring more peace into our own lives. We want to bring more peace into our communities and our world. We want to be bringers of peace. Not to give up or to give in, but to stand in the middle, in a place of balance and strength, a place of harmony. and not live in fear, because a lot of the things that are going on in the world today are frightening. But not to live in that place of fear. To come to a place of love with compassion and loving kindness. I'd like to tell you about a friend of mine, a friend of ours, who was very brave and came, I believe, from a place of equanimity. She and her husband, she's white, her husband's black, and they live in Roseburg, and their daughter goes to middle school here. And she has been subject, and she's a beautiful, sensitive, sweet girl, mixed race girl. And so she's been subject to lots of racism and name calling and difficult things for her. And she's very sensitive. So a lot of this has deeply impacted her. And her mother found a piece of paper with a circle in it where she'd written her own name, and then she'd listed all of the things that she'd been called at school. And they were some ugly, ugly things. And then she said, "I'm worthless." So it hurt her. It hurt the daughter. It hurt the mother. It was a very painful thing to watch. But what my friend did is she went to the school, and not a lot happened. I mean, they were sympathetic and didn't really think it was as big of a problem as she thought it was. And so she went to the school board and said, "I just have the feeling that now's the time for someone to speak up about this, not just for my daughter, but for all children." So she went to the school board, and she invited her friends to come. So her husband came, Andy came, our son Ben came, and I went. And we went to the school board meeting, and the way it works is that you get 2 or 3 minutes to talk, and they don't respond. You just speak, and then you go sit down. And it's like there's a horseshoe of people in the front, and there's the superintendent of schools, and the school board is there, and a lot of the important people in the school system in Roseburg. So she stood up with a prepared talk, and she had some tears, but she told them exactly what was going on. And she read every one of those words that her daughter was called, and spoke it into the room. And it was also live streamed. And she said, "We need to do something to help our children. We need to stand up and do something to help our children. This isn't going to go away by itself." She was very courageous. She cried, but she didn't rant and rave. She stayed very calm and centered in this talk that she gave. And you could tell that it deeply impacted the people in the room. So Ben got up and spoke of some of his experiences with this, and I spoke briefly about how sometimes it's necessary to see the problem before we can solve it, to really look at it and say, yes, this is going on. This is something we have to deal with. And that's what Kate did when she spoke all those words and said, "This is what's happened to my daughter." You couldn't deny it when she said it. You couldn't deny it. You couldn't pretend that it wasn't going on or sweep it under the carpet. And so I spoke too, and it was a little strange not having any reaction. I mean, they were nodding their heads, you could see that, but it was just a one-way dialogue. So when we left, one of the school board members, a longtime school board member, came running after us and said, "I'm so sorry for your daughter. I'm so sorry for your daughter. There's been a problem with racism in our schools for years, and I can see it's gotten worse, and I promise you we will do something about it. We are going to do something about it." He was very sincere. And then that night, and the next morning, she got messages from the principal of the school that her daughter goes to. She got a message from the head of education in the Roseburg Public Schools, and she got a letter that she forwarded to us from the superintendent. And he said, this will change. thank you for being brave enough to bring it up. And we are going to do something about this. We are going to take action, I promise you. And I invite you and your friends to be involved in that. And he said this, Superintendent Jared Corden, I think it is. It hurts my heart to know that our students are having to endure this inhumane treatment. So she was courageous enough to speak it into the room, and it was recognized and acknowledged. And she said that she has heard from him again. This was before Christmas we did this. So she's heard from him again about setting up a meeting. And you may know, some of you may know Howard Johnson, who's the president of the school board, and he also contacted her for a meeting that's gonna happen, and we're all invited, and I'm sure other people are invited to become involved in this. But she said, I just had the feeling that now was the time to speak up, that I need to make my voice heard, and that it's time for a change. And it feels like that's happening. It feels like that's happening. So I think that it was a very wonderful example of equanimity. She didn't scream or rant or rave. She told the truth in a calm way. And she said, you know, of course, I said she was so courageous for speaking those ugly words. And she said, I figured if my daughter heard those at school, the school board could listen to the same words, right? So I think that's what we can each do, is listen to our own hearts and speak up when it feels necessary, yet coming from a place of equanimity. And Martin Luther King said, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. I think that was one of the quotes that was up there. So we're no longer going to be silent, and when that happens, healing happens. And he also said, we shall overcome because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. It bends towards justice. Like Ernest Holmes said, we are spiraling up in evolution, even though it doesn't feel like it. I believe that that's true, and that we can have hope and know that love is always the answer. So thank you for listening. And is there anyone that would like to make a comment? Or there's Teresa.
Thank you. That was so wonderful and so poignant and perfect for this time period of what we're experiencing, to stay in balance, to affirm a positive, life-affirming life, staying in balance and thriving. There is positive, life-affirming goodness. That's what we strive for. That's our life-affirming life comes from this goodness. And then there's death-affirming, destructive, hateful, evil. And we are facing it right now. And if we participate in letting go of all the negative thoughts and speaking positive, life-affirming things over everyone's life that you touch every day, all day long, you will start a powerful, positive influence that will be a collective consciousness that will simply let this thing die out. And that is it.
Thank you. That's wonderful. I agree.
I just feel so badly for that girl. I mean, it hurts. It really hurts to even hear about it. But not only is she being hurt, but the bullies are too. I mean, having their hearts just shrunk by that. I don't want to say it's worse than negativity ever thought of being. And I'm glad for your friend. I'm glad she's doing something, and I applaud her bravery. I think I would have been up there screaming. I've been one of the ones screaming and yelling.
And you know, they're talking about what she's proposing is bringing in people to do work with the parents, with the students, you know, to bring up, to have a discussion. And there are people that are trained to do this, to come into school districts and help. Jody's back there.
Our daughter, who is also mixed race, heard all of those words many times over, especially in Roseburg High School. And her ability to stand in her power was amazing. We know how badly she hurt at night when she came home and would tell us of things. But when she went forward in school, she stood in her power, in her grace. She was an outstanding student. She participated in many of the things in the school with her head held high. And just amazing how she found the strength to do that.
Wow.
But I'm so grateful that someone was willing to step forward and speak to this board. Thank you for telling us that. It was so good to hear and encouraging to hear. So thank you. Do you want to say anything more?
Hi. I'm mixed race, and I'm from the oh-so liberal Portland area-ish.
Can you put that?
Sorry. I grew up in somewhat of a mixed population, but mostly white Hispanic. There was no black kids in my school, and I too experienced the whole racial slurs and just all of that, just being dehumanized even by my teachers, even by my adults in my life. And it took people just being accepted in high school and feeling like I myself am human and I can go and pursue things is something that every child should have in their life. And whenever someone argues that slavery was 100 years ago, segregation was so long ago, no, no. And it's so hard to think that even now, that it didn't end with just me. And everybody should be able to feel a certain way about how they are treated, especially children. And I hope that we can continue moving forward.
Thank you so much for this service. I would like to also say something in behalf of people with disabilities and people with different body shapes. I mean, this disease maybe that comes inside of some of us, I think we need to all join in on this effort. So I thank you a lot.
Yes, thank you for bringing that in, Connie, because that's so true.
And I have to wonder, it seems like this kind of behavior that you are describing is generational in nature as well. These kids are kind of taught that way. And I'm wondering if maybe we should also send love to the parents that have children who would bully like this.
Of course, loving kindness to everyone. Thank you, Glynis.
I have two comments. Thank you for everything that you integrated into your service. When I heard the word equanimity and realized it was Martin Luther King's day, and then when I heard Jody use the word strong, and I heard the story about your friend who stood up, it reminded me so clearly that the most difficult thing, I believe, for Martin Luther King was far greater than the things we normally think of, but it was the pressure that he received from every side, whether it was to be more radical in his demands for his people, whether it was to not make waves or to compromise. You know, I mean, he got it from everywhere, including go back to the pulpit, this isn't your job. And so he fits that definition. Standing strong, standing in your own equanimity is so important. And then the second thing that touched me so deeply is something I heard a woman say as she was standing in a similar kind of situation, telling something that was very hurtful and needed doing and saying and crying. And at one point, she just paused and she said, "My tears are a sign of my power and strength and the importance of what I have to say." So I'm going to hold that thought for your friend and all who are gathering around her as we carry this movement forward. And I guess the last thing I want to say is, you all know I have grandkids who are, all around 30 now. But I remember in the city of Los Angeles, the first Christmas that I could find Christmas wrapping paper with a black Santa or appropriate for black children, and the tears that I got from their parents and from the oldest granddaughter. That's just to say that this has been going on too long. And as Bonnie said, and I'm going to give this back to her, as Bonnie said, it starts with the kindness and the acts that each one of us do to another, and then how that spreads onward. And we have to stand in our centers.
Love spreads love, and love heals hate. So, and Andy, go ahead and sing. We have a good song to end with. So stand up, and Jake, if you could put the words up there, and we can start without the words, because you know the words.
Let's all sing. There we are. This is an old hymn, but let's all sing it together, and I want you to sing it like you believe it. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We'll walk hand in hand. Here we go. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe, oh, we shall overcome someday. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace someday. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We're not afraid. We are not afraid. shall overcome someday. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome too. Oh, deep in my heart, Lord, I do believe. Oh, we shall overcome someday. We shall overcome someday.
Where are we? I think we're right there. That looks like me, doesn't it?
Yes.
How do you follow a sermon like that? Andy, Bonnie, thank you both. We do have some very short closing words for today, and they just happen to be by Martin Luther King. Every nation must now develop an overriding loyalty to mankind as a whole in order to preserve the best in their individual societies. I'll do that one again. Every nation must now develop an overriding loyalty to mankind as a whole in order to preserve the best in their individual societies. Yeah.
I believe that unharmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. By Martin Luther King Jr. Please stay after service for coffee and tea and conversation. And now we will sing Go Lift It Up after I extinguish the chalice.
We do have a board meeting at 12:15. If we have any young people interested in the young persons group, come see me after. The video? Thank you.
So